Our first stop on an East Lakeshore Drive tour, Francesca.
Is 179 East Lakeshore Drive, or also known as the Drake Towers, right next to the Drake Hotel. There are 68 residences in this building, and they can enjoy all of the services of the Drake Hotel. This is a Beaux-Arts style, which you can see a little bit of the, what are those called on the corner, Joe? I'm sure you know that architectural
Coins, term. I think they are, aren't they?
And one thing I wanted to look for were some of the features of the Beaux-Arts style, which are called mascarons. Do you know what that is?
I do not.
We're going to find one today, I'm convinced. But this is also called Co-op Row, and I call it Co-op Row anyway, because most of the buildings along East Lakeshore Drive are co-op residences. So they're a little bit different than condos. One fantastic thing, did we see it over here? Is the automobile turntable where that couple is just strolling past. It's like a lazy Susan for automobiles. So you pull in, it turns you around, saves a lot of space. So in this Drake Tower building, there's currently one for sale. It's an entire floor, nearly 5,000 square feet, and it's listed for $7.5 million. So you have a $7.5 million view of the lake.
This is the view that people desire. If you get up in the buildings, you'll see the sweep of Lakeshore Drive headed north and the park here, and it's fabulous.
And today is the Bike the Drive, which is the tradition for the Sunday of Memorial Day weekend. And it's closed from 5:30 in the morning until, I think, 10:30 this morning.
10:30. Yeah.
30 miles south and north on both lanes.
Co-ops are unusual in Chicago, and going back in history, the reason for them along East Lakeshore Drive and other points was to keep blacks and Jews from buying.
Discrimination, financially, ostensibly, but you're right, the real reason was discrimination. And you always hear of the infamous condo boards that have turned down Madonna and Michael Jackson and
Richard Nixon.
Or Richard Nixon, I didn't know that one.
Oh yeah.
but one of the other features of co-op living is that they are shares, rather than, so you would own shares in the building rather than the physical space. And the arrangement is that your taxes are paid within your assessment. So the assessments can be quite steep for co-ops, but.
And co-ops, at least the ones along East Lakeshore Drive, have a very high level of service with very few units in the building.
Yes,
which
most
keeps
of these
the assessments up.
Very, very few units. As I mentioned, there are 68 at the Drake Tower. And in addition to the one for $7.5 million, by contrast, there's a 1,200 square foot, which would make a great pied-à-terre, for $599, which is, I think, an amazing price to be in this building. Looks like there's something happening with the facade and the structure, and you can see the 189s having the same some work done as well. These were all built in the 1920s, most of them by Benjamin Marshall, who also designed the Edgewater Beach Hotel.
And the Drake Hotel.
The Drake Hotel, the Blackstone Theater, the Blackstone Hotel, and the South Shore Country Club.
And the Marshall Field Apartments at 1550 State Parkway across from...
You trumped me.
Across from the Cardinals mansion.
On our architecture competition. But that's outside the Streeterville area.
And Marshall Field actually lived there. It was one unit per floor with a separate floor for overflow servants' quarters. Mm-hmm. So if the 4 or 6 bedrooms you had in your apartment were not enough for servants, they had an additional full floor.